About 1 minute, Coach. Oh, man, we had some good games. Coach Jackson, Nathan McCreary here for the FCS Checkdown Week 5 recap. See, Stephen McKenzie's in the comments already. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, we're going to talk about some of the stuff going on in the UAC. And good win for EKU, Coach. You were up there in Richmond, Kentucky. Got a chance to see all those McCreary buildings, by the way. No relation, but still. How was your week? How was the trip? The ride? Did you get a chance to get your pizza or whatever it was you were going to stop?
Well, we actually stopped at Bert's Speak Cheesy.
Yeah, that's right.
In Berea. Yeah, it's grilled cheese extraordinaire. So,
right, Coach.
Yeah, dude, fantastic. I didn't even know you could do this, but I had a grilled cheese donut with bacon. It was off the chain.
Wait. Grilled cheese donut. So you're talking about the bread was donut.
Bread was the donut.
Like a maple bacon, I would say.
Maple bacon, apple. I think it was applewood bacon, and
hey, bacon is bacon.
Several different kinds of cheeses on that joker. It was outstanding.
Let's go.
Yeah, it was great.
Let's freaking go. Oh my God, sir. Okay. Well, I can't say listen. I got back from Florida. We did the show Friday night. Yesterday, I had a day just to chill, and I mean, started watching. There was not many games, early games that were really intriguing, but I checked them out. I was watching a couple of them, and Morehead State's terrible. I can tell you that much.
Yeah,
Morehead State's terrible.
I didn't think they'd cover in the first half. I'm not sure if they did.
No,
but I knew they wasn't going to cover in 2 halves.
No, they didn't. I said take the points, right? It was a big point, big thing. But and then you started getting some really, really good games, and we're going to talk about some of these games coming up. Coach Brandon again is under the weather. He spent the week. The Friday night doing college football here locally, and I'm sure he wore himself out. I mean, he's got 2 young kids and the stuff. So if he joins us, great. He's welcome. If he's feeling up to it, hopefully he's resting and drinking fluids. Maybe not the fluids that we were drinking on Friday. That one got a little out of control. But
yeah, a little bit of an extended show, and it would have got crazy.
Yeah. It got a little. I ran out. I had to go. I did a little cranberry juice with some bourbon. Was the on the recipe on the menu for Friday night. But I've been a good boy. Today, you know what, Coach? Today I got to watch my Buccaneers get beat by Philadelphia Eagles. But I made homemade tacos. I hadn't made tacos in a long time. I got some real good grass-fed beef. And cooked it up, and Sweet Elizabeth was over here, and man, we had an absolute blast. We made tacos, watched football all day long, and then made a great day of it. And while I was watching, I was able to do some new graphics for our game recaps. Coach, you got to let me know if you have a thumbs up or thumbs down. All right.
All right, I got you.
All right, so let's go into our first game. We're going to talk about this evening is SEMO and UT Martin. It was the Skyhawks kicked off its OVC Big South Football Association schedule with that impressive 34-10 win over SEMO in front of over 7,000 fans at Hardy Graham Stadium. The Skyhawks dominated the game, nearly doubling the Red Hawks in total offense with 468 yards compared to SEMO's 239 yards. UT Martin wasted no time scoring 2 touchdowns within the first 2 minutes and 16 seconds of the game, including a stunning 75-yard pass from quarterback Jace Bauer to Bryce Bailey on the opening play. Bauer had a standout performance, accounting for 4 touchdowns, 2 passes, 2 rushing, while rushing over for 107 yards and 15 carries. An achievement made him the first Skyhawk quarterback to rush for over 100 yards since Hall of Famer Brady Wahlberg in 2005. Bailey also had a career day, recording 7 receptions, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. Running back Tommy Ansley contributed significantly, 99 yards rushing on a game-high 16 carries in his first career start. Coach, this was a must-win for UT Martin. They picked it up. Good on them. Good for the head coach over there, and he got a chance to watch his son also pick up a win against UGA. UT Martin really needed this victory, and it was a banger of a victory. They absolutely dominated SEMO.
Yeah, it sure was. Jason Simpson does a fantastic job. I've said it a million times. Nobody does more with less. He's the longest tenured coach there in the OVC. And you can't say he doesn't know how to coach a quarterback. He raised one that's on one of the best teams in the country. And I've met him before. Ty's and he's a fantastic young man too. But anyhow, back to the game. It's one that they needed. UT Martin's had a tough schedule, so don't be surprised if they don't right the ship coming down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if they do it in Tennessee, but Steven says they don't do bourbon and cranberry sauce in Kentucky. Sorry, Steven. Sorry, buddy. I didn't realize. Here's the thing. I like bourbon as a little sipping drink, and I usually just do bourbon on the rocks, and I was just feeling a little cranberry. I don't know. I don't really have an excuse. I
understand.
I don't have an excuse, so my man card may have taken a ding on that one, but it is what it is.
Steve, he's a bourbon extraordinaire too.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Get him to tell you, right, the Wellers or some mess
Woodford
like
Reserve right there, and Buffalo Trace and all that stuff. Mine is Barrel, the brand Barrel, and I think it's out of Indiana or somewhere. But
you shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I know. Barrel and okay, it's good. I got my card back. Barrel Dovetail is my favorite, or Barrel Foundations. It's Coach. I promise you, it is a man's bourbon. It is a man's bourbon. It's not Maker's Mark. Okay. It's not Maker's Mark. But, okay, so, yeah, okay, SEMO, listen, they're 1-4 now, 0-1 in conference, and, I just blew it. Steven says, yeah, I just blew it. That's a tough loss for SEMO. 1-4.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, puts them in a tough shape, in a tough spot, especially in the conference. I don't think that the OVC is not a multiple league bid for me. So that's a tough hole for them to dig out of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have to do something. It's early in the season still. All right, let's jump into a little CAA action. William and Mary and Villanova. It was Nova celebrating family weekend as a 31-24 win over the Tribe at Villanova Stadium. The Wildcats return home with an extended win streak, buoyed by an impressive performance by David Avett, who rushed for 133 yards and 3 touchdowns, and marked his second consecutive game with over 100 yards. The game started with a strong defensive showing from Villanova, which forced a punt and allowed the offense to capitalize. Avett capped a 10-play, 92-yard drive with a touchdown, 1-yard touchdown run, giving the Wildcats an early 7-0 lead. The Tribe responded back with back-to-back touchdowns, Coach. They took a 14-7 advantage, but Villanova quickly equalized with Avett scoring again on a 15-yard rush, tie the game at 14-14. It was a field goal by William and Mary that put them up 17-14 at halftime, and Villanova came came out firing in the second. Jabril Mace ignited the crowd with a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, the first kickoff return touchdown for Villanova since 2019, shifting momentum back to the Wildcats. Following a successful drive, including a 43-yard field goal from Jack Barnum, Villanova extended its lead to 24-17, maintained pressure on the Tribe's offense. They were able to get nothing started there, going there in the second half. They got a late touchdown, but it was a win for head coach Mark Ferrante, praising his team's resilience and adjustment. This is a nice win for Villanova over William and Mary. Coach Jackson, 2-2 for Villanova, 2-3 for William and Mary. Nova picked that one up. Let's see. Did we pick that one? Yeah, I picked William and Mary, as well as Brandon Haddock also picked William and Mary. You and Brandon picked Nova. Congratulations, Coach. You picked up the win on that one. And, that's a big win for Coach Ferrante. Here you go, Pat. Yeah, there you go. Cranberry and bourbon for you. No, big win for Nova.
And it must have been a slobber knocker. You got 14 accepted penalties between the two teams, which is, I don't know how. Dude, the refs earn their money. That particular.
I hate.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know that I've ever seen Villanova put up 400 total yards in a football game. Not recently. Yeah. Anyway, normally they do it with a lot of defense, and both defenses played well. It's two pretty good football teams. Villanova's just a little bit ahead of Bill and Mary right now.
Yeah. Well, and Steve McKenzie chiming in, wins over Colgate and William & Mary don't really excite me. But you know what? They're wins in the column, and that's all you can ask for. You got to play who you play. And Colgate's no pushover. And Colgate had a great recruiting season. We've kind of talked about what they can do. William & Mary's, it's a good long-term rival. Stephen thinks that William & Mary's overrated. Maybe. Yeah, maybe they're overrated. I'm not real sure, but you got to have a win. You got a good quality head coach there, a good running back, good quarterback there leading the way. Defense holding William and Mary there in the second half to 7 points. I think you're all right there, Nova. You figure some things out.
I don't think they're quite overrated. I think they're one of the top 15 teams in the country. Yeah. What's overrated is their home field advantage because, man, I'm going to tell you, they've got some good support, but the stadium only holds about 5,000-6,000, and they don't get a whole lot of support from the students. And if they could get that turned around, it'd make it a much, much tougher atmosphere to play in.
And this is the time of year that you want to get out there. It's a beautiful, that part of the country. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's a beautiful
November and December.
Right. You definitely don't want to go in November. You're right about that.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, well, let's move on as we go to Western Carolina. It's Bowie's Creek, North Carolina is where this one was played, as Western Carolina Catamounts secured the thrilling 42-35 victory over the Fighting Campbells on Saturday at Barker Lane Stadium. Teron Dickens led the Catamount offense with a spectacular performance, Coach. 427 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also rushed for 35 yards. The game started explosively when WCU scored on its opening possession, a 1-yard run from McCreary Reed, capping a 12-yard drive. That's the way to get your offense started. A 12-yard opening drive. Following Campbell interception, Dickens connected on Braden Blackman 17-yard pass, extending the lead to 14-0. The Catamounts continued their momentum, a 32-yard touchdown pass to Marcus Striggles, making it 21-3, Coach. Then here come the Humps, responding a 12-yard touchdown from Camden Six Killer, trimming the deficit to 28-10 before halftime. The Camels kept fighting, with Six Killer adding 2 rushing touchdowns, passing for 205 yards in the game. A pivotal moment, that was the word I was trying to think a couple weeks ago. I couldn't think of it. Pivotal moment in the third quarter when Jabril Mace electrified the crowd, Coach. 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, marking a significant shift in momentum. However, Campbell answered with a touchdown from Mike Chandler II, narrowing Western Carolina's lead to 35-21. As fourth quarter unfolded, the Campbells made a valiant comeback, scoring a touchdown, 26-yard touchdown pass to Stevie Keener. But 39 seconds later, Dickens found Painter Richards Barker with a 61-yard touchdown pass, restoring a 2-score advantage for the Catamounts. It was a late surge by the Camels, but they couldn't get it done. And the Catamounts in the win column with this one, Coach, and you know Kerwin Bell's got to be happy with that one.
You know what? Actually, he's not.
He's not that happy then.
Did you see? It's one of the funnier things. I actually watched the post-game press conferences from both coaches. And you would think that Campbell won and Western Carolina lost. Coach Bell, he pretty much chastised his defense pretty good and chastised the efforts. And you would have thought that they got their tails kicked. And Campbell's coach was, he was proud that his kids didn't give up. And, so it was, it was opposite for me. One of these days, after we rank the top 10 or 15 logos and the worst 10 or 15 logos, we need to rank the worst 15 fan bases, because the Catamount folks are just absolutely insufferable. I hate to say that, but oh my gosh. I'm like you. A win is a win. I think Campbell's a decent football team. Take that and go. Yeah. Especially when you're coming off a couple of losses. That was, what I'll do it like this. I encourage you to go out and find the post-game comments from both of the coaches.
I will. And honestly, Kerwin Bell is going to be under a lot of pressure. There was a lot of expectation coming in, and Western Carolina, offensively, they may put up points, but the defense hasn't been particularly strong. And Stephen McKenzie chiming in again saying, hey, they can't stop anybody. And that's a big problem there in the Southern Conference. So, they're going to have to figure something out. They're going to have to figure something out. Back to the CAA, Coach. We're going to go to Bryant and Towson. This was a good one, Coach. It was in Smithville, Rhode Island, if you're just wondering where Bryant University is. Towson University Tigers held off a late charge from Bryant Bulldogs, securing a 26-24 victory in their CAA opener in Birney. Is it Birney Stadium, Coach? Do you know? B-E-I-R-N-E. Birney. I'll take it. Yeah. The game saw
just
a stellar
beer.
I like it. Birney. Great performance by Towson's Elijah Elliott, who rushed for over 100 yards and scored 3 touchdowns, making his career high for total touchdowns in the game. The Tigers jumped out to an early lead, scoring first with a 45-yard field goal from Camden Williams on their opening drive. Following Bryant field goal, Towson extended its lead 14-3 on a 1-yard run from Al Wooten II. And it was, I missed my thing here, my sheet. Hang on. It was Bryant that fought back. Quarterback Brennan Meyer connected with Elijah Elliott with a 22-yard touchdown pass, narrowing a score 14-10 just before halftime. The Tigers responded with a touchdown pass from Andrew Endorf, the freshman, to Jason Doss, increasing their lead 21-10. The third quarter, Towson added a field goal, pushing the lead to 24-10. However, the Bulldogs rallied with an Elliott score, 12-yard rush to make it 24-18. The fourth quarter saw more drama as Bryant scored again, bringing the score 26-24 with a touchdown from Elliott with just 23 seconds remaining. The Bulldogs attempted a 2-point conversion to tie the game, but Towson's defense held firm, stopping the run at the 1-yard line. Towson's defense was pivotal, forcing 2 turnovers, including a fumble recovery by Branson Peters and an interception by Jamez Drummer, while also limiting Bryant to 129 yards rushing. Big win for Towson. Tigers are now 3-2 on the season. Bryant drops to 2-3, and more importantly, 0-2 in the CAA, Coach. It was a, Bryant picked up an FBS win, but doesn't mean you're going to roll. And Towson, that's a good win for Towson. I mean, it's a conference win, and they did some good things. Kind of a nice balanced attack for Towson.
Well, full disclosure, I don't know whether it's Birney or Bernie or however they pronounce it.
It is whatever we want to call it.
Yeah, I got you. And let me tell you this: I love the graphic, like the new graphics. Nathan, they look fantastic.
Good.
2 turnovers is what did Bryant in.
Yeah.
Now, and you know what? Out a few years ago, Bryant wasn't even on the football map. They've undergone a little bit of facility improvements, and they've started playing people close. They've gone from probably one of the worst teams in the FCS to being middle of the pack or so. They're no longer a joke. So it does not surprise me that they played Townsend pretty good, especially at home.
Still have a terrible logo. Look at that Bulldog. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened? I can get behind Towson's logo, but this Bulldog here.
Yeah, I don't understand the white stripes that are right around the beard. Plus, he looks a little cross-sighted.
It kind of looks like he got hit with a 2x4.
Yeah, Bryant Bulldog is beaten. That's
Yeah.
what that looks. And the ears are even a little crazy.
Yeah.
That's going to be top 25.
He does. He's not too far off from the Tom and Jerry Bulldog that used to run around and, the old show Tom and Jerry. No.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go to this stinker, Coach. We were looking forward to a real game between South Dakota and NDSU. It didn't happen. It was up there in Fargo, North Dakota, and North Dakota State rolled 51-13 over South Dakota. It was a 4-0, now 4-0 standing for NDSU. Total domination by NDSU. 5 consecutive possessions in the first half, leading 34-3 at halftime. 391 yards to 99-yard advantage for NDSU. Cole Payton, 14 of 18, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns plus 102 yards rushing. That dude, Cole Payton is fast, Coach. Forget about just his mobility as far as his side to side. Dude, north and south, he is fast. Very, very impressive. Nathan Stalling returned an interception for a touchdown, contributed 5 tackles. This was an absolute domination by the #1 team in the country, Coach Jackson.
Yeah, I was a little shocked. I thought Paw Patrol would put up a little bit better fight, but it was just a tail whipping from start to finish. It looked, I guess at some point in time, you could ask for a running clock, and they didn't. But I mean, what do you say? 2 for 9 on third down conversions, 0 for 1 on fourth down conversions. South Dakota State.
Look at the time of possession.
Time of possession. I don't know that. I guess I'd like to know if North Dakota State ever punted. Doesn't look like they did. That's a win that says, listen, you don't want to see us in the playoffs neither.
Yeah, that's a muscle flex.
We're the #1 team in the country, and everybody else is look. We're top of the mountain is what that says.
Yeah, it was a game that was you're like, here we go, and then you blink and you go, what else is on?
Right.
Because it just didn't live up to the expectation. Those are usually good matchups, but it just was not going to happen. All right, another ranked opponent facing Ivy League. It's Lehigh. Picked up a good win against Penn. They're now 5-0. This was in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. The number 10 Lehigh Mountain Hawks secured a commanding 44-30 victory over the Penn Quakers at Goodman Stadium. This is another family weekend. Had a good crowd of nearly 9,000 people. Lehigh's balanced offensive attack amassed 300 rushing yards while passing a season-high 239 yards. Senior Jeffrey Jamil Sean Brightly catching 8 passes, 132 yards, and scoring a touchdown, along with a crucial 20-yard rushing touchdown on a faked field goal that shifted momentum in the third quarter. Junior Luke Yoder, we can talk about him all season long. He had a great game, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns on 25 carries, while Hayden Johnson, the quarterback, was 15 for 31, 239 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Mountain Hawks' opening drive was ended with a 35-yard field goal, followed by a 22-yard touchdown pass from Johnson to Matt Davino, giving Lehigh that 10-0 lead. Penn responded with a 48-yard touchdown pass from Liam O'Brien. If I had to guess what Penn's quarterback name was, Liam O'Brien would be up there. I mean, come on. By the way, his pass was to Bissy Owen. Bissy Owens had a touchdown pass. It was 10 touchdown reception. Gerardo added a field goal for Penn. In the third quarter, Penn took its first lead with a touchdown pass to Jared Richardson, making it 20-16. However, Lehigh quickly retaliated on Jamil's touchdown run off that fake field goal, regaining the lead. In the fourth quarter, Johnson connected with Jamil with a 35-yard touchdown, extending the lead to 30-20 despite a late push. Penn couldn't overcome the victory by Lehigh. Ranked opponent, they fell behind. They showed some resilience. Good win. Good win.
539 total yards by Lehigh is that's getting it done. 14.1. Think of what the score would have been and how much more yards they'd had if they didn't have him 2 turnovers. Lehigh is going to be a tough team to contend with. Once the playoffs start.
Defensively, Bryson Edwards had 10 tackles and just 29 rushing yards on the ground for Penn. So that Lehigh defense getting it done. Getting it done. I like it. All right, up next, Coach, we're going to have, again, we didn't really talk about this one much. It's not one that has a lot of significance all that much, but St. Thomas we talked to Coach Caruso. They become the playoff eligible. They go to San Diego. Let's say San Diego Toreros team is playing extremely good football, and this is one they picked up. There's a good win. They showcased their resilience once again, overcoming a 17-point deficit to the Tommies. The Toreros had the great fighting spirit as they had a 5,000 fans in attendance to this one. Quarterback Teron Dickens led the charge with an impressive performance, throwing 265 yards and 2 touchdowns while also contributing 35 yards on the ground. His standout target was James Tyree. He made a significant impact, catching 5 passes for 149 yards and a touchdown, including a crucial 61-yard touchdown pass to Painter Richards Baker that extended the lead late in the game. San Diego began the game slowly, trailing 17-3 at halftime. However, they ignited their offense in the second half, starting with a 41-yard touchdown pass to Dickens to Tyree. The Toreros continued to press, and after a 12-yard touchdown run by Adam Kreider, they narrowed the deficit 27-17. The turning point came when the Toreros defense forced a field goal attempt that was blocked by Malachi Cooper, keeping the score 27-17. Shortly after, Dickens connected with Cole Monarch on a 54-yard touchdown pass, bringing the score 27-24 at the end of the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, San Diego tied the game with a 34-yard field goal from Emiliano Salazar. The defense stood up once again. The Trey Moore forced a fumble and Cooper recovering it, setting up Salazar for the game-winning 25-yard field goal as time expired. The Toreros overcome the deficit once again and pick up a win. Just really impressed with San Diego. They are now 3-2, 1-0 in the Pioneer League, and that's a good Tommy's team. We know what they can do. St. Thomas, Glenn Caruso, he's an energetic guy. He brings an energetic team, very, very stout foundational team, fundamental team, and good win for San Diego, the Toreros.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you there. That's a good win for them. Yeah, it kind of begs the question is how strong is the Pioneer League? With St. Thomas, with San Diego, with the Presbyterian, how strong are they?
Yeah, I mean, it's like these games because you're coming out of the non-conference schedule, and then you kind of get into the conference schedule, and you're thinking, okay, well, you kind of look back at that non-conference schedule. Tommy's are a good football team. I think didn't they have an FBS win or I mean, so
Well, they played an FBS team really close.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
I think.
Yeah,
pretty sure they played an FBS team close.
They had their ranked win, right? Didn't they have a ranked win?
They got a ranked win.
Yeah.
And I think Presbyterian may have an FBS win, or they don't have an FBS
does
win.
Not.
They got a couple of good wins over in the Southern Conference teams.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, you got to wonder, San Diego, I can't wait till San Diego and UTRGV play, and you got the Toreros versus the Vaqueros. That'd be fun.
Oh, wow. The Battle of the O's.
Yeah, Steve McKenzie again chiming in saying this might be the best Pioneer League ever. I agree. I mean, we'll get to see, right? I mean, I want to see how the problem is, Coach, and you kind of see it in the conference schedules. Someone stubs their toe in an unexpected way, and that may have been the Tommies here, but San Diego's a pretty good team. Yeah, San Diego does not play Presbyterian this year, as far as I guess Stephen McKenzie's checking that out for us. I don't know. I don't have the schedule.
I hope that's not the case. What a shame.
Yeah, I don't have the schedule here in front of me. All right, moving right along, Coach, as we're going to continue with our recap here. Bit of a shocker, Coach. Bit of a shocker. UIW and Abilene Christian. What happened? It was Incarnate Word all of a sudden dominating Abilene Christian. 38-7, it was at Benson Field. This pushes the Cardinal home win streak to 9 straight. They're 25-1 at home since the 2021 season. The Cardinals rushed for 301 yards, averaging more than 5 yards per carry. Lontrell Turner led the team with 118 yards on the ground. Quarterback E.J. Colson wasn't far behind. He had 103 yards and had 122 through the air, scoring 3 touchdowns. Linebacker Declan Williams exploded for 1 interception, a sack, and 2 tackles for a loss. The Cardinals looked to be in trouble after a 66-yard rush from Wildcat running back, which that was Banks Jr., which set up would be the only scorer for ACU of the game. The following drive, Colson helped spark the Cardinals with a 4-yard pass over the Wildcat defensive back on wideout Jalen Walthall. This marks Walt's first trip to the end zone this season. On the ensuing drive, UIW put more points on the board with a field goal from Will Ferris. In the second quarter, Colson scrambled for his second touchdown of the game, extending the Cardinals' lead to 17-7 in the second quarter. 30 seconds left in the second quarter. The Wildcats approached the Cardinals' 2-yard line to score before the end of the half. Stone Earl throws a pass that's deflected by defensive back Matt Cordes and ricochets into the hands of defensive lineman Mackle Please Jr. for his first collegiate interception. That ended the Abilene Christian threat. Critically in the fourth quarter, the Wildcat 34-yard line. Colson completed pass to Turner to continue the opening drive of the second half. A fourth down, not the fourth quarter. Would later end up scoring his second rushing touchdown to increase the lead to 24-7, and then UIW never looked back from there, shutting out ACU in the second, third, and fourth quarter. Big win for UIW. Abilene Christian 2-3. Incarnate Word now 2-3. And we kind of talked about, Coach, this was a ranked team. We weren't so sure UIW deserved to be ranked. This is a big win against a very, very good Abilene Christian squad.
Well, one of the things that I said a little bit earlier is you better watch Incarnate Word down the road, especially once they get everything going. Now, listen, they've also, looks to me, changed maybe their outlook. Maybe we've talked them into changing how they approach games, because this is one of the few games that they actually ran the ball for over 100 yards. Yeah. They actually controlled the clock, literally 2-1 in time of possession. And they finally decided to play a little bit of defense. They actually, shut somebody out. And Abilene Christian's got a good team, got a good coach, got a good team. So honestly, shutting them out for 3 quarters is pretty impressive.
Very, very impressive. And Steve McKenzie again chiming in saying UIW is going to get better as the season continues. I can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. All right, another little bit of a shocker. Central Arkansas at Lamar. Now, Lamar was ranked. A lot of people, we know Pete Rosamondo does a great job there for Lamar. Nathan Brown, the head coach there at Central Arkansas. It was a great game, 35-32 victory over Central Arkansas for Lamar at Provost Umphrey Stadium on Saturday in Beaumont, Texas, closing out a non-conference schedule. The game was had 5,000 fans in attendance. Again, not a bad attended game. Lamar jumped out to an early 14-0 lead, scoring 2 quick touchdowns, including a 32-yard touchdown run. Central Arkansas quickly responded, tying the game 14-14 with a well-executed 75-yard drive, culminating in a 2-yard touchdown pass from Austin Myers to Malachi Henry. The Bears then took a 17-14 lead with a 27-yard field goal from Devin Jackson before halftime. A crucial moment came just before the break when the Cardinals regained the momentum after forcing a fumble on a 4th-and-1 play. Lamar capitalized with a 46-yard drive that ended in a 4-yard touchdown run by quarterback Aiden McCown, giving the Cardinals a 21-17 lead. In the third quarter, Lamar extended their lead 35-17, scoring 2 more touchdowns, including a 10-yard pass from McCown to Blake Thomas. The Bears mounted a late comeback, scoring 15 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, including a touchdown run by Elijah Elliott. That was not right. Not Elijah Elliott. Xavier Coleman. Also, defensively, Lamar, as anchored by Kristen Pugh, he recorded 9 tackles, including an interception, while Bronson Peters contributed a forced fumble. It was a big win, 35-32. They held off Central Arkansas. Coach Jackson, 15 points in that fourth quarter, 0 points for Lamar. They really had to hang on tightly, but they got it done. Lamar picks up a win. They're 3-1 on the season, and Central Arkansas, surprisingly, 1-4.
Yeah, well, Central Arkansas lost a lot from that team that they had last year. Now, they dominated every statistical category.
Yeah.
The problem is turnovers. You know that's that's a game killer for them.
Yes.
They're not they got to play clean if they expect to win. So, yeah, 500. Listen, when you play, you will get Central Arkansas's best shot every time that they come out. They're never out of a out of a ball game, but
Right.
you're not going to. You got to play clean if you expect to win, especially on the road.
Yeah, we're seeing. You can kind of say that week one, couple turnovers, couple of those penalties. Got to clean it up here as you're into week 5.
Yeah, lots of penalties in the ball game. Turnovers and penalties is what cost Central Arkansas that ball game.
Yeah. Well, big win for Lamar. Again, we like what Pete Rossamondo's doing there. I mean, think about where this program was just a couple years ago. It's going to be interesting. Lamar looking forward to next week. Shouldn't have been that close. UCA down. Lamar versus Nichols next week. Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup out there, Steven. Yeah, it's going to be a little barn burn. Nichols is an interesting team to talk about as well, as they've kind of had a little bit of unusual season. Hey, Coach, how's that go-go offense going?
Gone. If you got the nerve to put that mess on the side of your helmet, you can't stick up 24 points. And what the other thing that's go is their defense. You can't give up 32 points to Cal Poly.
What are they doing, Coach? Come on.
It's just not what I would consider. I don't want to be negative, but you can't have 3 turnovers in a ball game and expect to win. You can't give up 25 points in the first quarter. It's not winning football. It's more kind of like arena football. And if you only got 5 players on each side or 8 players on each side, good for you. But this is big boy football, and Sacramento State has got you can't have 10 penalties in that ball game. You can't lose the time of possession in that ball game. So how are you going to put up more yards but have less time of possession and have 3 turnovers?
Yeah.
It's not a winning strategy at any level, in my opinion.
Right. Well, let me go through what happened in that one. It was a Big Sky conference opener for Cal Poly and Sacramento State. 3-2 now for Cal Poly Mustangs. They secured that significant road win. The Mustangs showcased a total team effort, excelling on offense, defense, and special teams. The defense was particularly impactful, forcing 3 turnovers, like you mentioned, including a crucial pick 6 by senior safety Brian Dukes Jr., who also recorded 2 interceptions. The offense, led by starting quarterback Bo Kelly in his first season as a starter, rushed for a season-high 178 yards, while redshirt junior running back Tyree Washington had a standout performance, carrying the ball 22 times for 113 yards and a touchdown. Kelly completed 17 of 27 passes, 203 yards, and those 2 touchdowns. One connected with wide receiver Jordan Garrison. Actually, for 2 scores, he had a 55-yard touchdown that helped establish that early lead. The Mustangs defense was relentless on junior linebacker Mikey D'Amato, recording a career-high 19 tackles as sack and tackles for loss, while redshirt junior linebacker Kenny Olson also added 11 tackles. The game started with Sacramento State scoring a 23-yard touchdown pass, but Cal Poly quickly responded with Dukes Jr.'s interception return for a touchdown, Coach, and it was Cal Poly jumping out to an early lead, and they never relinquished it. This was I would like to say, an embarrassment. You put go on your helmet. I get what Brendan Marion's trying to do. Fire up the fan base. Get people excited. Coach.
Well, if you're gonna give them offense, you got to give them more than 3 points in the second half.
Absolutely.
Big shout out to the D'Amato kid. He probably woke up this morning and tackled one of the Sac State running backs in the backfield.
Yeah, he just recorded another one. Yeah. Just recorded another one. Interesting. Sacramento State is in flux, right? I mean, they talk about FBS. They have this $25 million fundraising campaign. They get the money. Nobody wants them. Coach, rumor is that UAC may be a landing spot for Sacramento State. That couldn't have that. First of all, you're going to piss everybody off in the UAC that has to travel out to Sacramento State. Although it's got a major airport there, you can fly in and fly right out, but doesn't fit. Doesn't fit.
Here's the good thing: the Sacramento State president, he acts like their sports information director. So I believe he responded to somebody's tweet about joining the UAC, and he said, "Sorry, not today, boys," or something to that effect. So if they had planned on joining, he's thrown a little bit of water on top of that. And it don't matter what conference you join. If you only scoring 3 points in the second half, you're not going to be very successful.
Yeah. Not good. Not good for Sacramento State. All right, the Hornets. All right, here we go. Let's go to the Weber State and Cal Davis. It was a dominating display by the Aggies as they defeated Weber State Wildcats 34-12 in that opener UC Davis Hell Stadium, the conference opener. The game began slowly with neither team scoring in the first quarter. Weber State took an early lead in the second quarter with Sloan Calder kicked a 33-yard field goal, making it 3-0, but the Wildcats were only up front for just a little bit. The Aggies responded swiftly with a Caden Pennick scoring his first career rushing touchdown for 2 yards and gave UC Davis a 7-3 lead. The Aggies continued their momentum as Pennick connected with Carter Vargas on a 57-yard strike, extending the lead to 14-3. Just before halftime, Hunter Ridley added a 45-yard field goal, sending UC Davis into the break 17-3, and then scoring 10 points in the final minutes of the half. In the third quarter, Ridley hit another field goal, 25 yards, pushing the score to 20-3. Weber State managed to respond a 29-yard field goal of their own from Calder. UC Davis then scored 2-yard rushing touchdown to extend the lead to 27-6. Highlighted the game came when Pennick connected to Samuel Gabato Jr. for an explosive 85-yard touchdown, bringing the score to 34-6, and electrifying that 12,200 plus people in attendance. Weber State managed a late touchdown with Dijon Jennings finding Marcus Crichton for an 11-yard score, but it was too late to change the outcome individually. Pennick led the Aggies with 288 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, including rushing touchdown to Pennick's tally. Gabato Jr. had a breakout performance, 112 receiving yards, while Jacob Syke anchored the defense with 9 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 2-3 now for UC Davis. Weber State's kind of one of those teams that they can come in and make a game interesting. Probably disappointing in this one. UC Davis has kind of got off to some slow starts. They did it once again. I'm a little concerned for the Aggies, Coach Jackson. This is not a good Weber State team, and UC Davis, we'll see.
Well, I don't know. Coach Plow does what Coach Plow does, which they put up a lot of offense. And honestly, Weber State does what Weber State does. They put up a decent fight or whatever. But I just think they're in 2 different leagues. I'm not worried about UC Davis right now. I think they'll continue to roll. I think they'll make a deep playoff run too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think so, too. I just don't like the slow starts. There's just something to overcome, and it's kind of becoming a pattern that you just going to watch out for as the season continues. All right, Coach. It was the West Georgia Wolves going out to Cedar City, Utah in this one, Coach, and it was a good one. A thrilling matchup between West Georgia and Southern Utah. West Georgia ranked 18 in some polls, 20 in others. They had a dramatic 27-14 victory over the Thunderbirds thanks to Tommy Holden's clutch 46-yard field goal as time expired. After leading 17-3 at halftime, extending their lead to 24-3 early in the third quarter, the Wolves faced a fierce comeback from the Thunderbirds, who scored 21 unanswered points to tie the game in the final quarter. This win marks West Georgia's first 5-0 start since 2018 season and their 6th straight overall victory, including 4 consecutive road wins. The Wolves' defense was instrumental. We knew that the Southern Utah team could put up a lot of offense. Well, they were held to 295 yards of total offense, 200 yards below their average, and holding the Thunderbirds to a mere 2-11 on third downs. Coach Jackson, West Georgia does it again, this time on the road. Very, very happy for this program.
Yeah, me too. And they're simply riding the we're not eligible to go to the playoff wave
Yeah,
all the way to a top 15 ranking. And listen, 2 turnovers by Southern Utah is just not going to get it done against that particular defense and that particular offense.
correct.
Congratulations to West Georgia.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And again, the conversation starts coming in about these long probationary periods for these teams. Enough. All right, the NCAA is they've broken everything else. Get rid of this. Make it a 1-year transition or whatever, and then have something else. Maybe a tiered process of scholarships, but let these teams play in the playoffs.
Yeah. Listen, with the transfer portal the way it is right now, if you move up, you move up and just start playing. I'm like you. That's an antiquated rule, and you ought to get rid of it.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Finally, Coach, the one we're going to dive deep into is this Idaho and Montana game. Idaho ranked number 8, Montana ranked number 5, and in a sellout crowd of 27,000 plus fans, they saw the Grizzlies use a fast start and dominated balance on both sides of the ball and rally past number 8 Idaho on Saturday night in Washington Grizzlies Stadium. The win keeps the Little Brown Stein in Missoula for the 3rd straight year, marked the Grizzlies' 9th victory over the Vandals in the last 10 meetings. Montana seized momentum early, scoring on its opening drive with Ty Morrison 37-yard field goal, forcing a 5 Idaho 3-and-outs in the first half. The Grizz surged to 17-6 halftime lead behind rushing scores from Eli Gilman and Michael Wortham. The Grizzlies extended their lead in the 3rd quarter when quarterback Kelly Ayotte found Wortham on a 22-yard strike to make it 24-6. Idaho briefly fought back with quarterback Joshua Wood leading a pair of scoring drives and rushed for 2 touchdowns, but Montana's offense proved relentless. Gilman capped a 142-yard, 2-touchdown night with an 8-yard score, and Ayotte's 1-yard sneak late in the 4th reestablished a 3-possession margin, 17 to 20 of 23 passing, surpassing 1,000 yards on the season for Ayotte. Morrison remained steady on special teams, hitting 2 field goals, all 5 PATs, pinning all 4 punts inside the 20 as well for the special teams for Montana. Defensively, Montana forced a key 4th quarter fumble to set up Morrison's final field goal to put the game out of reach. Wood led Idaho with 204 yards passing, 71 yards rushing, 3 total touchdowns. Receiver Ryan Jazario posted 112 yards and 4 catches, the first Vandal wideout to have over 100 yards this season. And Montana scored top 10 wins in the season, moved the Grizzlies to 4-0 for the first time since 2009. Oh boy, 41-30. This was a contest early, but if you kind of watched the game, you felt like Montana was in control of this game almost all the way through, Coach.
Beautiful setting for a beautiful game. I mean, just it was a ESPN2 game, I believe, or maybe ESPN.
Yes, ESPN2. It sure was.
Yeah. And let me tell you, if you got a chance to see it, the Gilman kid for Montana, he's as slick as a mole's belly. He'll run around over you, through you, around you, dude. He's the real deal. Montana's going to be a tough act, especially if you got him at home. They probably have the most electric home field advantage in the FCS.
Yeah,
I can't think of anybody else. It's literally just it's probably, I think it's the toughest place to play in the FCS.
Yeah, I mean, the Kibbe Dome's been known for being a tough place to play, but Missoula, just that atmosphere, they sell that place out, and they have a great fan base that really makes it difficult to kind of get any momentum, especially if you make it, you stub your toe, get a turnover, a big play, that riles that Grizz fan base up, and boy, it is really, really challenging. All right, Coach, let's go ahead and take a look at some games. This may be a little bit hard to read, but we're going to kind of go through some of these games. Here we go. Let me get my little script out here. Yeah, Yeah. Okay, here we go. Northern Arizona at Portland State. Coron Gossett led the Lumberjacks with 112 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. NAU rushed for a season-high 253 yards and averaged a 6.2 yards per carry in their win over Portland State. Tennessee Tech, we talked about this one, Coach. We thought this one might be a close matchup. It was not. Tennessee Tech continues to roll. They had 281 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Quintel Quinn, 107 yards and one rushing touchdown, and Quidarius Jennings had 71 yards and a rushing touchdown as well. The defense for Tennessee Tech forced 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and a fumble, including a 94-yard pick six by Andrew Smith, limited the Tennessee State Tigers to just 49 yards rushing. Furman and Sanford, Coach. Sanford is in the mud once again. 3 turnovers and 7 sacks allowed by Sanford. Riley or Hubert had a 47-yard pick six for Furman, and they also blocked a field goal just before halftime. Trey Hendon for Furman had 28 completions, 272 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This was a dominating performance by Furman's defense. They stopped Sanford 7 of 8 3-and-outs, Coach Jackson. This is not a good Sanford squad. Hey, Cody Hawkins and Idaho State picked up a win against Northern Colorado. It was 539 yards of total offense, including 289 rushing yards for the Bengals. Dason Brooks had 161 yards rushing on 26 carries. It was a big-time performance by the defense that held Northern Colorado to just 30 yards rushing. The Idaho State defense forced 3 turnovers, including 7 sacks. Crucial 33-yard touchdown pass from Jordan Cook to Tyson Nunley before halftime was a key play. And Northern Colorado quarterback Eric Gibson Jr. did have a pretty good game. 26 of 38, 396 yards, and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But Idaho State picks up another win. Congratulations to Cody Hawkins and the Idaho State Bengals. Delaware State at Sacred Heart. Coach, this was a good game. I kind of watched a little bit of it. The Pioneers improved to 4-1, their best start since 2016, with a win over Delaware State 35-31. Jackson Snyder it was 28 for 36 passing, 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 rushes for 51 yards and a rushing touchdown. Wide receiver Jason Palmieri had 5 receptions, 63 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Sacred Heart responded to an early deficit with a strong performance, including a pivotal 80-yard drive and a late game touchdown from Snyder to Palmieri, clinching a thrilling comeback victory for Sacred Heart. The Pioneers getting it done. Alabama State and FAMU, not a contest. Balanced offense from Alabama State, rushed for 299 yards. Marcus Harris, the second, scored 3 touchdowns. Andrew Body completed 10 of 18 passes, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Jalen Jones was his top target. The Hornets held the FAMU to just 14 points and forcing key turnovers on downs. Utah Tech and Austin Peay. It was the Governors picking up a win. 239 yards passing for rushing combined for Austin Peay. They're at home. It was a massive game there for Austin Peay because they have number 18 West Georgia waiting in the wings. You see a couple of more scores there. Coach, you were surprised by that Howard and Richmond game. What's your thoughts on that one?
Well, Howard, much closer than I thought they would play. So shout out to them. A little surprised with my biggest surprise is probably Dartmouth. I think Dartmouth's got a pretty decent team. They beat a good Central Connecticut team. And then the last thing I'll say is I do believe Alabama State offensively is for real.
I do too.
I think it's going to come down to them and Jackson State for the HBCU National Championship in the Celebration Bowl, and I would not be surprised to see Jackson State get stung by the Honeybees.
Well, I think you're probably right on the money there. A couple of statistics that stood out as I was kind of going through this one. Dayton quarterback Bryce Schondelmeyer, something like that, had 333 yards and 5 touchdowns, and Vincent Fiorence had 99-yard pick six. That must have been fun for that young man for Dayton. So congratulations to those two. Dartmouth, you mentioned their quarterback, Bryson Senior. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Senoir or something. Had 407 yards. It's a career high for him. 2 touchdowns. He had a game-winning touchdown with 50 seconds left. As you mentioned, the Dartmouth Mean Green or Big whatever they are, picking up a win. Elon running back Jamil Williams had 172 yards and a touchdown. Alabama A&M quarterback Eric Hanley County had 355 yards and 3 touchdowns. South Dakota State picked up a big win. We didn't even talk about that game, but Chase Mason, Coach Jackson, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was 21 for 29 for South Dakota State. Harvard's quarterback, Jaden Craig, 317 yards, 4 touchdowns. Alcorn State running back, Jacorian Sewell, had 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. 9.8 yards per carry, Coach.
I might have done that in middle school, but I don't. That's hard to get done at the college level.
Jacorian Sewell for Alcorn State. If the kid can, he's averaging 7.5 yards per carry right now. The kid might have an FBS spot, if he keeps up that stuff. Remember that name, Jacorian Sewell, Alcorn State. And then a little tip of the cap to East Texas A&M quarterback Ron Peace. He had 356 yards and a touchdown. Peace, brother. All in all, some of the games that we thought were going to be, marquee matchups ended up not being marquee matchups, and games that we weren't really expecting to be close were close. That was a fun weekend. UT Martin picked up its first win. I think that is a big-time win there for Coach Jason Simpson in that program. Coach, just your overall thoughts on week number 5 here in the FCS.
Well, it's a beautiful week all over the country for a lot of good football, and we even left out the Mercer East Tennessee State game. I'm always on Mercer when they don't play well, so I got to give them a little props when they do play well, and I thought they played pretty good against East Tennessee State.
And, I think I have that in here somewhere, but I'll be dang if I didn't find it. If I didn't, I might not have put it in here. But hey, it's been a long day. Yeah,
been a good game. And listen, the next couple of weeks before it gets freezing cold up north, you're gonna see a bunch of good football up there. So I'm looking forward to it. Eastern Kentucky's got a bye this week, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I might roll down there and see Austin Peay play West Georgia, because I think that's going to be a really good game too.
Yes, Steve McKenzie just put it in the comments that that's going to be a marquee matchup. Austin Peay and West Georgia, probably the toughest matchup West Georgia's had to face all season long, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm going to need Steve to do like Brandon and join us in our picks. So when we roll out, let me know so we can get them picks to Steve. I'd like to see, what he thinks about some of these games too. Steve is he's a hidden treasure when it comes to football. You ought to have him on the show one day, and he can give you a lot of good history on football. And don't let him fool you, he's a very knowledgeable guy about football. Now, he's going to tell you he's a basketball guy, but he's as knowledgeable on football as they come too. So I'd love to see his picks next week too.
Well, he's talking about EKU. We didn't get into the EKU game because it just wasn't particularly a great football game. I mean, it was a big win for Walt Wells and his squad.
Man, I thought it was a great game.
They trailing 7-0 early, right? And you're thinking
right where they wanted them.
Yeah. I mean, come on, this offense is trying to get something done, and then all of a sudden, you put up a couple points in a touchdown in the second, 10 in the third, 10 in the fourth. The defense shut out the Nichols. By the way, with Nichols again, what's going on with some of these teams? It's like such a weird. They're 1-4 on the season. But by the way, you should check your Venmo, Coach Jackson, for all the nice comments. Steven's got a little cash flow for you. Hey, Eastern Kentucky goes to 2-3 on the season. They're undefeated at home. Protect the what do they call that? The Roy kid?
Protect that baby. Protect the kid.
Protect the kid. It's a good win. They had their defense scored a touchdown, and so it just wasn't one that was like, okay. It's kind of like Chattanooga and the Citadel. Yeah. It's like we have a limited time, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with the Mocs? Come on, they're 1-4. They just lost to the Citadel, and that wasn't even close. They put 10 points up in the first half, and were shut out in the second half.
Yeah. Well, I can speak to the Eastern Kentucky game, and one of the things that I would commend, and again, one of the things that I would tell you is I thought Eastern Kentucky made some fantastic halftime adjustments, and that was the difference between the game. I don't know if. I don't know if Nichols, anyway, I don't know if they brought their kicker with them either, because there's a couple of times I thought they should have kicked field goals that they didn't. But nonetheless, I thought Eastern Kentucky offensively and defensively made some adjustments at halftime that Nichols did not adjust to, and that powered them to a win. And it was a great crowd. It was a great day. Dude, I was happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was happy for y'all, right? I was honestly, I was happy for y'all. I just wasn't a game that was like, there was other stuff happening. There was other stuff happening.
It was better in person.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a lot of stuff happening in the FCS, and I know we don't get to cover everything because there's so much going on, and we have a limited amount of time. But there's a lot of games out there, and if you want to hear us break down a game, man, shoot me a DM, shoot Coach a DM, man, let us know. We're happy to dive deep. If you got a program that's maybe doing something that we're not we're seeing or something, man, we'd be happy to jump in and find out about a program we're not really talking about. By the way, URTGV picks up their first loss of the season, so they are coming back to reality. So
hey, they didn't play bad though. They scored.
No, they didn't.
Late.
They scored late. So they made some adjustments.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Stephen McKenzie, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. I have not had any bourbon and Coke. It's just nothing but vodka. I mean, water. Thank you so much for being part of the podcast. We got great viewership here this Sunday evening as we're talking about FCS. We're going to do a midweek show where we preview week number 6, and hopefully Brandon can join us back. We're also going to try and get Kendra Sheehan on the podcast. She is a sideline reporter there for the UAC. Does great things for them, and she's fantastic. Yep, super talented, and look forward to getting her on the show here soon. All right, Coach, any final words?
Like and subscribe.
You sucker, you stole it. Yeah, no, please do like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell because we do go live sometimes on some short notice stuff, and we'd love to have you join us in our DMs, or maybe even I can send out a link. We do a fan show. I'd love to do it. Love to do it. All right, for Coach Jackson, I'm Nathan McCreary. This has been the FCS Checkdown Week 6 episode, probably Wednesday night, but we will let you know. This has been the FCS Checkdown. We'll see you later this week.